Everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's go across to our friends over in WA in particular, and of course speak with the Wembley Magpies women's football team who won their grand final over Collegians by just over 2 goals at the start of this month, and of course start of last month. And we've got 4 very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about it. Thanks all of you for joining us.
No worries. No problem.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. Well, I'll get each of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position all you played on the field on grand final day.
All right, I'll jump in. Jenna, I played on the wing and a bit of inside mid, so really in around the ball, which is good.
I'm Amy, or maybe I should say Amy, for the Aussies that don't understand my Irish accent. I play in the mid, ruck rover, and sometimes in and around the forward line.
I'm Koshi. I was moving magnets on the day, coming back from an injury. But before I broke my leg, I was in the midfield and forward.
She's also the inaugural captain of our team.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a big thing, Koshi. And I'm Ashara. I'm just the coach.
Sarah, I need to ask you this question first. Now, you mentioned that you didn't play the grand final because you got injured. How's your recovery going?
Since I've had my pins out of my ankle, it's been a lot better. It was pretty tough, the 4 months with the pins in and not being able to walk and things like that. But on the road to recovery now. I just got back from hydrotherapy with about 14 80-year-olds. So that was fun, bobbing around the pool with them. So I'm being able to do a lot more stuff now.
As captain of the team, how heartbreaking was it for you to not be there and actually play in the grand final?
It was really tough. Parts of it was like, it was so bittersweet because at the end of the day, I've always felt so welcome going down to the club. I broke my leg after the second game, so I played only 2 games, and it was still an amazing feeling because obviously all my friends were out there playing, such an awesome game of footy, and I never felt once that I wasn't part of the team. So I slept well and I celebrated hard, just as hard, even harder, some would say.
Did you get a chance to at least get a premiership medal even though you only played 2 games?
No, I didn't, but my trophy cabinet's full, so nah, it's not. But no, I didn't get one. Just like to put in there, that was a joke.
I guess for the others, tell us a bit about the game. You won by 13 points against Collegians. Tell us a bit about it, and how did you fare against Collegians in the home and away season?
Going into the game, I think we were pretty confident just because we'd had a couple of wins against them, and we knew that the side obviously going in was our best side. We were so nervous though. First quarter was probably not our normal game style. I think we all went out there and it just took a quarter to get into it. But I think when we met at first quarter time, we pretty much just reset and said, like, this is not how we normally play. And from then on, didn't really look back, which was pretty good feeling. So, yeah.
I would have said the same. After the first quarter, I found that we all settled in, told ourselves, obviously, go back to what we are good at, focus on our own game. And I would have said that was probably our turning point of getting that bit more physical, working together as a team. And I thought that was the game that we came away with, and really thought this Premiership is ours to win. And then we knew we could only build on it. So then obviously did that going into the next round.
We had a bit of rivalry with them the whole year as well. I know that our boys team goes up pretty hard against them. So they were kind of counting on us to get the win over them. So, yeah, I think probably in the fourth quarter, we pretty much knew we had it in the bag, and it was, just giving it to them a bit, which was nice.
So my question is, and you pretty much just answered it, when did you felt you won the grand final?
I think you never really know that you've got a game in the bag, but I think going into the fourth quarter, they were pretty exhausted, and we were still coming in quite hard with our tackling and physical contact with the ball. So we didn't drop our heads. I think that's the main thing. We just kind of knew we had to keep that physical aggression, but still play our Wembley brand of footy, which is what we pretty much strive to do all year. Keep it clean, but really attack the ball and give it everything we had. And that was the best time to be doing it in the grand final. So, yeah. How was
it like after the siren went, knowing that you're going to get that flag?
To be honest, I can go first, that I didn't realise that the siren had went. And I had a few girls come and run into me. Obviously, everyone's starting to celebrate, and I'm still looking for the footy up the other side of the oval. And then everyone's like, Amy, it's over. So yeah,
she was sending off her players.
There's a good photo that Jenna is coming to tell me that game's over, we've won it.
It's a great photo.
We did have the obviously a big part of the grand final for us was the support we got from the rest of the Wembley club, and we had probably players from every other grade involved with Wembley down to watch us, and their support on the day was just incredible. And probably 2 to 3 minutes to go, they all started to sing the Wembley club song. So obviously that was an indication to a lot of girls that we had won it. For me, I still didn't realise, but for everyone else, they knew that the Premiership was Wembley's on that day.
You got to hold the flag first, considering Kosh was injured.
Koshi's still.
I was still running out onto the oval. It took me about 15 minutes on my crutches to get out to the pack, and then they sort of head back after it. No, I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe it was we have a leadership team, so the girls all came out and grabbed it with Ash.
How good was it to hold the Premiership flag, which I think was reasonably big, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Small. Oh, sorry, small was too. Sorry.
Was it? Did you say it's small?
Yeah. Have you seen the? There's some other ones that come across the whole.
Yeah.
The whole team.
Front of the group. Yeah.
People weren't paying their fees this season, so budget cut. Could only get a small one. It was a good feeling to hold the flag.
For me, it's very different because in Gaelic football we get a cup. So nice to finally get my hands on a Premiership flag, and there was a good buzz around everyone.
The question I want to ask the three of you in particular is, how long did you wear your Premiership medals around your necks for, and did you sleep with it?
I think I wore mine the whole Saturday night. We all went out, wore it the whole night. I think I had a few too many beverages, so I think I actually went to sleep with it, and can confirm the whole of Silly Sunday it was worn around my neck. I was not taking it off. That's just me though.
I was probably the same. I had it around my neck all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and I was also off work on the Monday, and we had the Perth Football League awards night. And for a part of Monday, it was definitely, if not around my neck, still in my hand.
Yeah, bit of the same. So Saturday and then Sunday was pretty good. Then had the Kosh and I had the privilege of watching Mullers get the best in the league, which was pretty good to see that she had another medal around her neck. just all the hard work and effort culminated into a Best and Fairest award, which was really cool to see on Monday night.
Kosh, I know you didn't get a premiership medal on the day, but did any of your teammates at least?
Feel so bad for you, Kosh.
Did
again, nah, I'm all good.
But I have to ask you, did any of your teammates at least lend you theirs for, like, you know, during the whole celebration at all?
I did put the
did actually have
Premiership
many.
flag as a cape round your neck.
Yes, I did. Yeah, a few of the girls were like, "Yeah, you have it," and I was like, "Absolutely not." Yeah, I did get the Cape flag, so that was good. That really did me.
Where is that so-called Cape flag?
It's hanging up in the club room. So every year that the boys have won a flag, they hang it up on our beaming. So there's lots of flags from, I don't know how many years that they've been at that club. So it was really awesome. Two of the girls put up the flag that night while everyone was celebrating. It was, awesome. So awesome to see the girls up there. Like, really, really cool.
What made this team so special?
I definitely think, for me personally, I played team sport my whole life, touch rugby and then netball, and I've never really been involved in a team that everyone just gels together so well, especially, you know, a big group of girls. We had about 40 odd in the squad, and ranging from, like, obviously quite young to a few older girls, and it was just so good to see everyone just get around each other. And you come to training and you have those days where you're feeling like crap, and you know that coming to trainings you're going to feel so much better after, and no one's going to be mad at you if you're not 100% there, or, you know, they're just such a good group of people, and just the club itself, like, feel so welcome. And yeah, I've just never experienced that in a team setting before. I've had good teammates, but I've never had a whole team that just sticks together like we do, which is, pretty good, pretty unreal.
I also think the special side of it was that probably 70% of us have never played footy before. And I felt like just week on week, game after game, it was for everyone personally, and then for the team effort, that you were just constantly building, and everyone was just thinking, we can play this. You wouldn't think to look at it that it was our first year playing this sport, and everyone just week on week, every training session you were doing a drill, and you were thinking, God, look, we're nailing this drill now. We're getting, it's working, comparing it to previous weeks back where you were only learning it, you were only learning how to kick, you were only learning how to catch properly. And then all of a sudden, every week you were just thinking, we're building on it. We were just constantly building and building. And, everyone could see that for their own individual development. And then also as a team, that, every week you weren't going to training and thinking, oh, I'm not getting better at this. I know for me personally, I constantly came away from it week on week thinking, I've learned something new tonight. Now this play makes sense, or now I get this part of the drill. And then you're just constantly building on it. And then along with that, just having the support from the club, support from the girls, and then we definitely all just bonded very well.
I think as well, not losing any teammates, like whoever started or stuck around. It wasn't like if you weren't playing that week, you wouldn't come to the game, or, because our squad was so big. We kind of all just, if you weren't playing, you would still come down and support. And even for the girls that missed out on grand final day, rocking up there and still rallying around us, even though it's not the best feeling in the world, but they knew that, we all got there together. It wasn't just the team on the day that won that grand final.
It's very much a family feeling down there. And it's probably once in a lifetime that you'll get a team as close and as, quickly built our relationships. But I think it was after the second week, we all went down and had dinner. And a few people said it just feels like we've been, friends for years. Like, it's just a whole great bunch of people have come together, and I doubt you'll get a team like this, again in our lifetimes anyway.
Tell us a bit about your coach.
No, that's okay. So since day dot, Ash has just been so passionate about footy and women's footy and bringing, I think, girls into the sport, and didn't matter like someone's ability or, level of skill, that, she was just there for people to, come around and get around together, and brought in a lot of culture to the club and traditions and stuff that also some of the men undertook, took on as well. So just so passionate. Like once I got added into that coach's Facebook chat, I tell you what, she does a lot of work behind the scenes with, making the training sessions and making sure everything's organized, and never missed a beat in, all the organizational stuff. And it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely like what she said with being so passionate. You can just tell that Ash absolutely loves footy, and it's something that she's grown up with as well. So being able to pass on that knowledge to us and put it into drills and, things that we can apply when we play. I think, the positive aspect of being a role model and a leader was also something that we could relate to, which is, something you don't always get with a coach.
Just finish off with our drills. Ash always tried to bring in or acknowledge the fact that everyone's learning skills, or the way people learn, are different. So some people might learn better at just getting into the drill. Some people might learn better at actually seeing it on the board, talking through it before you do it. So she constantly was trying to better how everyone could learn from her. And then it got towards the end of the year that pre-training, Ash would post up the drills that we were going to do. So it would mean for the girls that would prefer to read over it and get a bit of an understanding before they rock down to training. That was their way of getting their head around any new drill before we would take to the field and give it a run. But I was always trying to make it easy for everyone, because obviously everyone learns in different ways. And
but still being fair as well. I think even though we're a fresh team, Ash could see that, we were probably a side that could get into a grand final that year. We have such a good team, and she made everyone accountable for getting to training, and it was fair across the board. Like, if you don't train, it's not fair for people who come to training, and you might be a better player, you might have more skills, but it's all about doing the best you can to basically get down to training and get around the girls and do the right thing as a team instead of as an individual.
What did that mean to you, Ash?
It means everything, especially when throughout the season, you're not quite sure with a new bunch of girls if you're doing the right thing or not. So just hearing that, it's huge. Yeah, it's really lovely to hear. But I also wanted to acknowledge our assistant coaches who've played a big part in our team. So that's Stephen Oswell, which we call Oz, and Paris Laurie. Being a brand new team and having those individuals has been really great, with different skill sets and different ways of integrating with the team, which I think really benefited us in the long run. So I can't take all of the credit, but definitely, they really helped out. And just wanted to acknowledge them, because I know that people can get quite carried away with just acknowledging the head coach, but there's a whole stack of other people behind the scenes that are doing some work as well to get the team to where it is.
How did you get involved in footy, and why did you choose it?
For me, I arrived over to Australia 2 years ago and always played Gaelic football. So it's kind of similar. The skills are definitely transferable, but in terms of just being a different game, obviously the obvious one is the shape of the football, but the physical side to it. Gaelic football for ladies is non-contact. So getting into that bit more contact, and obviously with being in Australia, I always wanted to give Australian football a go. So that's I seen it up in the Facebook group that they were starting a new team, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. Grabbed my boots one day and just down to the Oval, and didn't look back.
Just so you know, Will,
Ash thought I
I
was a fake profile.
Yeah, I did. I was like, are you real? Yeah, no, it was good to know that you weren't fake, Amy. But, you know, when people would message me or come into the group or whatnot, I do a little bit of Facebook stalking so that, you know, if they rock up, I could, you know, welcome them. And so they're not just standing there. And yeah, I was like, this chick is not real.
And here I am, 10 months later.
I probably started 3 years ago, but I started halfway through the first season after having a cortisone in my ankle. And then the second year was a half season because it was a COVID year. And then this season was a 2-game season. So over 3 years, I haven't actually played a lot of footy. But I've always played sport. Coming from a country town, that's all I did after school every single day. And I've played a lot of sports, and I hadn't played footy before. It was definitely something I'd really wanted to try for a long time. But my mum and dad were pretty anti me playing footy. They literally said, like, no, you hurt yourself. And I was like, I'll be fine. And here I am. Look, your parents are right if that's any part of the story. But no, once I started playing, like my dad being like the country guy he is, he absolutely loved it. And they got to come down from Geraldton to see a couple of games last year. So yeah, it was awesome, and I love it. And I'm definitely going to play again, like when my leg's better.
Yeah, same as me. I've always played sport my whole life. And 3 broken ankles at netball, I thought probably had enough of this sport. So let's go try an even more physical contact game with footy. And yeah, just met a friend who I went to uni with. She said, come down to Wembley, and came down to training. In the first training session, I was like, yeah, this is definitely the team for me. And I love it. I just couldn't imagine not playing footy now. Yeah.
So I have a multicultural family, and they knew nothing about football, AFL, when I was growing up. And then it was, I'd probably say, maybe I was 15 or 16. My uncle came and lived with us. So he's an Aussie and an absolute football fanatic. And he would watch Friday night footballs every single Friday night in his room. And he was the cool uncle, you know, so he basically, you know, was the person to be around after school, and, you know, he was so cool. So my sister and I would jump in his room and watch Friday night football, and he explained everything extremely patient. I don't know how he did it, because every 2 seconds we were asking questions. And he's the guy, yeah, they got me into footy. So taught me how to kick a footy, tactics, strategies, all that sort of stuff. But when I first started, there was no pathways to football for my age group. So I had to wait until I was 18 to play football. But I would play, you know, kick to kick at the park with my mates. And so when I was 18, finally could play footy. And yeah, just, I don't think you could ever step into a team sport quite like football, where you're stepping into a team and you've all of a sudden got 40 best mates. And there's no other team, like no other sport that you can jump on the field and you put your body on the line for one of your teammates. Like, it's just an unreal sport. So that's how I got into it.
If you had a preferred position, we love to convince your coaches to put you next year, wherever that be.
All right, everyone's smiling because they know what I'm going to say.
What's that, Ames?
And I would definitely enjoy the forward line. However, I do also enjoy playing midfield, but yeah, centre half forward would be my my preferred to
goal.
say. But yeah, I enjoy trying to kick a goal or two.
I really like playing inside mid, but I also have been known to throw a few wild tackles, so don't mind the back either.
I used to be a mid, but I'm assuming with my fitness coming back in, I'll have to be full forward with a lot of subs. And yeah, probably hopefully snap other things and bones, maybe snap a few goals down in the box.
Tag team, Kashi.
Obviously, if anyone hasn't noticed, obviously Amy's from Ireland. And she mentioned about Gaelic football a moment ago as well. So you mentioned, I guess, I'm assuming there's a lot of similarities between both sports, but how
Yeah.
you managed to adjust from the round ball shape ball to the sort of the oval shape-ish ball?
The first training session when I went down to Wembley, I had actually never touched a footy. So that was the first time that I had kicked one. And I continued just kicking it as I would have kicked a Gaelic football. And for anyone who's watching, they were looking at me as if I had two heads and thinking, what way is this girl kicking this footy? But it was going straight and it was working. So I just thought, all right. But no, I definitely had to. It did take me probably 6 to 8 weeks to learn how to bounce, but it's a lot easier to do that with the Gaelic football. But yeah, I would say honestly 2 to 3 months until I felt comfortable with a footy. And then I actually would have said towards the end of the season, I would have said my handling was better with a footy than it was then in my Gaelic play. Probably because I was practicing quite a bit even outside of training. But the shape of the football was probably the biggest adjustment.
I think with the difference between Gaelic football and Aussie rules is that your scoring system. Now, obviously, it's a combination. Now, obviously, you got a soccer net as well. Normally, it's right in the middle of what we call the goals. How much of adjustment was that for you? Considering obviously there's more points.
This was probably went in my favour that so in Gaelic, if we kick it into the goal, a goal is worth 3 points. And if you kick it over the crossbar and between two posts, it's 1 point. So in Gaelic, Irish people will always say to any Aussies that we don't get anything for kicking it wide. So it seems to be in AFL that you get a point for kicking it wide. So thankfully, that probably benefited my accuracy that I was used to kicking between the two posts and I didn't have 4 to play between. So, for me, and right through the season, in AFL, I get that some people cheer if you get it behind, and I'm guessing it's because it favours you for the kick out. But for me, I wouldn't have been happy if I didn't kick the goal. I never really seen the point as a successful kick, but that's just me coming from the Gaelic background. If anything, that probably was an advantage to me coming from Gaelic into that. There are a lot of Australians listening are going to think I'm very cheeky now for saying that, but
for all four of you, what does the sport of footy mean to all four of you, and especially being at Wembley?
Football has just this amazing culture that I haven't felt in another sport before. Usually in your netball and your basketball, you don't hang around after the game and do presentations or have a drink with your teammates, and that's coming from like the footy culture is that you do that. And I think that really did help build relationships because you just stick around and chat, debrief on the game and things that would happen that were funny, and things like that. And just the Wembley Football Club, the way that those boys welcomed us in, initially I thought that it'd be a bit uncomfortable because, you know, we're girls coming into this so-called boys sport and using their facilities and their club rooms, and they have, you know, never shown any signs that, you know, we were in their area, and they just like welcomed us with open arms. And yeah, I think that really helped bring us into the sort of footy culture, which is amazing. It's just a great place to be able to do some exercise, make friends, and you know, have some social stuff to do.
Gosh, she's pretty much covered it all. Definitely the boys at the club made us feel so welcome that, yeah, it was a huge relief because we weren't too sure about how it was going to go. But I feel like it's not only at the club, you know, like seeing people outside of the club now as well, and hanging out and going for breakfast or going for lunch or going to play tennis or just do those things. You kind of make lifelong friends from doing something that you love, playing sport. So
I would agree with that. Obviously for me, coming over from Ireland, sport has definitely been my saving grace this past 18 months. Obviously the way things have went with COVID, and from we've arrived to Australia, we haven't been able to get home for a visit. So at times where it's hard and you're missing your family, I found joining Wembley this year was definitely, I got that club feeling of community, and it's a bit like I would have had back home in my village where I would have played Gaelic football, that you had that club feeling, and the relationships built around Wembley straight away. They just welcomed the girls in. From the first couple of weeks, you just felt like you had that feeling of purpose of being there. And I would reflect on the final for me as a big indication of how much that meant to me, that even though family wasn't around to see me win that premiership, for me, I had my Wembley family, and at no point did I feel like, oh, it's not the same without, you know, my mom being there, my brother, my sister being there. For me, it was as special because it maybe is that bit more special that I've made these friendships and relationships only in the past 9 months, that it's crazy to think I didn't know any of these girls pre this. But yeah, so it's definitely that extra bit special for me, I think.
We'll finish off with a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates. Firstly, Jenna's been waiting for this. I can tell.
Watch out, Jenna.
yeah,
Every
no,
answer is probably going to be coshy.
Amy, was your question who is the biggest legend? Because yes, Amy, that was it.
I don't know how these answers to my questions are going to go now. So my first one is, who had the most embarrassing moment on the field this season, and what was it?
I wouldn't say embarrassing, but maybe when Tanya accidentally punched that girl in the face. And then I'm so sorry.
Yes.
She went up to spoil the ball, or like punched the ball and slipped in the ruck. She's our ruck woman, and she like went to hit the ball and just completely missed it and just like punched this girl. And she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And she's so like lovely, and yeah, that was quite funny.
That was very good. Missed it completely, threw a right hook. It was unreal.
I was like, Tanya, this is not boxing.
Yeah.
And the girl took it like a champ too.
Yeah.
It's the comedian, the best singer, and the best dancer on the team.
Koshi, I will put all my money on for being the biggest comedian. You probably could tell by some of the comments she's made already, but definitely when Koshi's around, you never stop laughing. It's great.
Guaranteed a good time.
100%.
I think for best dancer, she'd be very annoyed if we didn't give this one to Paz.
No, what is best dancer?
Oh,
Ellen.
Shay. It has to be Shay.
I was
Has to
going to
be
say
Ellen.
Shay. Yeah.
Shay and Ellen. They're both very,
Yeah.
very good.
Ask us who the worst dancer is.
Who's the worst dancer then?
On 3 girls, 1, 2, 3, Paris.
Paz.
Amy's like waiting. Oh, is Orange good at singing?
I've
So
never.
who's Orange?
Yeah,
Actually,
Orange has some good dance moves too.
Orange does
She
have some
does.
good.
She
Mm.
does.
She's another
Um,
fellow Irish woman.
I don't know about a singer, but in terms of musical abilities, maybe we go with Kashi again. Kashi's very good at a smash up on her guitar.
Is that
You'll never
right?
get-
Oh
Yeah.
no, what's this behind me? No.
Oh.
I was like, go on, gosh, go on.
no, I don't have it.
Now, anyone into their TikToks?
I'm too
No.
old.
Yeah, too old for that. Too old for that. I watch TikTok, but haven't ever made one. Actually, you always throw it up when we go out.
Trying to, fit in with my youth as a phys ed, as a high school teacher. Just trying to keep up with the kids.
I need to ask you these two questions in particular. The first one is, has anyone on the team tried to put the Irish accent on, and how's that traveling?
Yes, again, Kashi. I told you these answers were all going to be Kashi. Yes, so it definitely wasn't easy. Definitely didn't make my life easy at the start. I'm not sure if you've picked up on it, but supposedly the way I say Amy isn't obviously the Amy, the way Australians do it. So for the first couple of weeks, people didn't know my name because they couldn't understand what I was saying. So they had to come up with a nickname,
Which is?
again I still can't pronounce, but Kashi, do it for me.
Mullers.
Mullers.
But, yeah, give her a very Aussie nickname, Mullers.
Yes.
But yes, you have a lot of people. Helen's actually likes to try and put on the Irish accent. Sometimes she comes out with an English one, but she tries.
It's always
Brilliant.
And then Kashi, go on, give us a line.
Okay, go for it, Kosh.
Oh, my name's Amy, and sometimes I go down to. No, I can't.
That's reasonably good. it's much better than all the other accents I've had on the show. Trying to put a different language accent. To flip the same question back to you, Amy, have you tried to put the Aussie accent on, and how's that traveling?
I have tried, I'm not going to lie, but I just don't think I can do it. I'm not a natural.
I just say, g'day, my name's Amy, and I love playing footy.
G'day, my name's Amy and I love playing footy.
Why you sound like a small child?
Please cut that out. let's
my new ringtone.
let's I think I should try that again. Take two.
Do it again. But
Okay, do it again.
G'day, my name's Amy, and I love playing footy.
G'day, my name's Amy and I love playing footy.
That was better.
No, well, to answer your question, I'm not a natural at the Aussie accent.
Yeah. Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I do. I have my sports top that I have to wear the same one for every game. And I do like to eat potatoes the evening before for dinner.
Yeah. You have to have potatoes, don't you?
No, I don't have any pre-game, really. I just normally try and eat some carbs the night before, get some fuel in the tank. But
Jenna, we do like to have a bottle of Powerade.
Oh, yeah. I do bring my Powerade, but I don't
Right, yeah.
I don't have it. I'm not going to play well. But yeah,
I like-
always bring a bottle of Powerade and one for Amy because she always used to steal mine. Can I just have a sip of that and she'd be guzzling the half the thing down?
Amy.
I just like a lake walk, and I get dressed really early. Like I'll just put on my gear really, really early. Like if I get up at like 6 or so, I'll put it on then, and then the game's not till like 12. And my housemate is like, "Why are you ready so early?" I'm like, "Why would I get changed and then changed again?" Like I'm all about efficiency. So I'll put it on as soon as I get up. Well, I'm not going to do anything else that day. So let's go for a late walk in my gear, rep the Wembley stuff.
I'd have to say that I have to tuck my shirt in whenever I coach. I hate tucking my shirt in, but I feel like if I don't do it, then something's going to go wrong. So I will untuck it straight after a game, but that's probably mine.
Cheers. What will be your advice to people that should get involved in footy, especially down there at mighty Wembley?
Obviously, if you're into sport, people into sport, or if you haven't played a team sport before, definitely give it a go, and I don't think you'll look back. For people again like me coming from overseas, it's definitely the best way to build a good network around you, and make friendships that I think I'll hold on to for the next few years anyway. I won't say a life, Kashi. I think a few years might be enough of you.
Season's over. We're not even friends anymore.
And yeah, obviously I didn't say it. Wembley is definitely the club that I think all three of us will vouch for and say, if you want a club that's definitely going to welcome you in with open arms, that's your go-to. Yep,
I'd agree. If you want some fitness, friends and frothies, the 3 Fs, then give footy a go.
I'd just say as well, we're starting a second team, given the success of the first year, and acknowledging that some of the girls didn't play a full season because we had to rotate through our players. The club is looking at getting the second team up. So I think they've already lodged paperwork and all that sort of stuff. If anybody's out there, they would love to give Wembley a crack, and that's men as well. We've also got an integrated team. So the integrated team is people that have disability and they want to play football. We've got an integrated team as well. So come down to Wembley, like the girls have touched on before. Fantastic culture. I think importantly as well is to mention mental health. So our club's really big on mental health and helping people, doesn't matter who comes through the door, to get through some tough times. I think we're just a all-rounded team, and we're looking forward to finding new mates and bringing them under our wing.
All for you. Thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. One of the most funniest and the best interviews we've done this year, by far, I think. Congratulations on the premiership. Well deserved, and especially being collisions by 13 points in the grand final. And hopefully, this time next year we can make it back to back.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. And that's the Wembley Magpies footy club there. Of course, especially the women's premiership team, of course, winning their premiership over Collegians earlier last month by just over 2 goals. Of course, if you want to get involved with the Magpies, we'll put all the details on how you can go about getting involved with Wembley in 2022. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Go away here on the 10th year celebration.